Ladies and gentlemen, we are following one of the most devastating disasters of 2025 in China. From the evening of August 7th, lasting into the early morning of August 8th, torrential rain poured down on Zhuzhong County, Gansu Province, triggering flash floods and large-scale landslides. In just 24 hours, 3 villages erased from the map, at least 10 people dead, 33 people missing, more than 4,000 people trapped in isolated mountain forests. Last night, concrete roads turned into rivers. Sturdy bridges were torn apart. Hundreds of houses sank in the raging waters. These are not just numbers. This is the real story of hands reaching up in the middle of the floodwaters. And if you don't want to miss information that could save you and your family, hit subscribe and turn on the notification bell right now. Around 6 p.m. on August 7th, the sky over Zhuzhong suddenly darkened unusually. Black clouds swirling from the Xinglong mountain range, heavy with moisture, as if foretelling a night of horror. At first, just a few scattered raindrops, but in less than 15 minutes, the rain poured down as if someone was dumping giant buckets of water from the sky. By 7 p.m., the streets turned into muddy streams, carrying leaves, trash, and even tin sheets flying off rooftops. Many people quickly abandoned their cars, seeking higher ground. By 8 p.m., the weather station near Mount Xinglong recorded rainfall exceeding 190 millimeters in just a few hours, a figure approaching the rare extreme rainfall threshold in China's meteorological scale. The roar from upstream echoed back, like thunder, but long and continuous. Those who had experienced flash floods before immediately shouted for evacuation, but many families were still at their dinner tables, unable to react in time. At 8:20 p.m., a massive mass of earth and rock slid down from the mountainside, blocking the stream, creating a temporary reservoir. Just minutes later, that natural earthen dam burst, releasing a wall of water as high as a 3-story building. The water rushed into the valley at speeds over 30 kilometers per hour, strong enough to sweep away even heavy trucks. The Quan Modan suspension bridge, which had stood for nearly 20 years, was ripped in two in an instant. The concrete road linking Zhuzhong to Lanzhou was swept away, leaving a gap filled with mud and rocks. By 10 p.m., the low-lying areas were completely submerged in a sea of water. More than 4,000 people were isolated, power out, phone signals lost, in the darkness. There was the sound of rain pounding on tin roofs, the wind howling through door cracks, the shouts for loved ones, blending with the constant roar of the water. By morning, 3 villages had almost disappeared from the map. Hundreds of houses, left with only bare foundations, or turned into piles of rubble and dozens of people still missing. Gansu lies on the Loess Plateau, a unique land where the soil is soft, fine, rich in silt, but extremely prone to collapse when it meets water. The 2025 rainy season began in April, lasting for months with consecutive heavy rain events. The soil and rock were already saturated, and just one more extreme rainstorm was enough to trigger a chain reaction. Landslides, blocked streams, temporary lakes, then bursting into flash floods. Climate change has made the situation even worse. Scientists point out, for every 1 degree Celsius rise in temperature, the atmosphere can hold 7% more water vapor, meaning extreme rains will happen more often and more violently. Mesoscale convective systems, MCS, can produce strong rain cores, with peak rainfall increasing up to 42% compared to normal. Zhuzhong's terrain is a narrow valley, with steep cliffs on both sides. When floodwaters form, they are compressed, accelerating and destroying everything in their path. Although a warning system exists, its response speed is not fast enough. On the night of August 7th, the rain fell too quickly. Data couldn't reach the villagers in time. Many only ran when the roar of the water was already at their doorstep. And this is not the first time. In 2010, Gansu also witnessed a historic landslide, taking 1,471 lives. Same cause, same terrain, and same pain. Mr. Lu Guoqian, 58, owner of a small repair shop by the Zhuzhong, Lanzhou Highway, recounted, "I had just closed my shop at 7 p.m. Outside, the sky was dark, the wind was whistling in bursts. I thought it was just heavy rain like every year. But no. Around 8 p.m., the water was already up to my thighs. I opened the door, and the familiar street was gone. Only a rushing brown current. The power pole in front of my house shook violently, then fell. I climbed onto the roof, still holding my flashlight, just praying for dawn to come quickly." Xiao Li, a 24-year-old woman living with her mother in Liangjia village, was still shaken. "When I ran to the door, a silver car floated past my window. My mother gripped my hand tightly, trembling. The lights went out. Only the sound of water remained. We huddled in a corner of the second floor, waiting for the knock of the rescue team. But all night, no one came." Madam Chu Maihua, 72, in Nanqiao village, survived thanks to a neighbor who brought her across to the next roof with a wooden plank. "I thought I would die that day. The water rose fast, freezing cold. The rain lashed my face painfully. I heard the house next door collapse. Then silence. Before dawn, a small rescue boat finally arrived. I had never seen a night so long. There is one truth. Those who survive flash floods are not always the strongest, but because they prepared in advance." In a small village in the Juxi Valley, 72-year-old Mrs. Li always kept a bag by the door, flashlight, dry biscuits, medicine, and her husband's old radio. She never thought she'd use it, until that rainy night. When the water came in, she slung the bag over her shoulder, opened the door, and walked up the small path to the hill. She lived. In the neighboring village, young Zhang Ke had been taken by his father to practice the run to high ground every rainy season. When the real flood came, his feet followed that exact path and never looked back. Preparation doesn't always require sirens or instruction boards filled with words. Sometimes it's just a small habit, knowing the nearest safe route, knowing what you will take with you, and knowing who is the first person you must hold hands with when leaving home. Gansu has witnessed disasters in 1935, 2010, and now 2025. If we don't change, this cycle will continue. We cannot stop the rain, but we can teach ourselves how to walk through it and remain whole. And if you believe, the lesson from Gansu must not be forgotten. Act today. Subscribe to the Natural Destruction channel, so every warning story reaches you first. Click like, so this message spreads far and wide. Share the video, so those you care about have one more chance to live. You are not just watching a video. You are joining a life-saving network, and sometimes you will be the reason someone survives.